You see it right here. You see the picture? He got a little infant baby in his hands about to smash it against the stone right there.
Right.
And we celebrate them by what? Naming a mall after Coronado. Right? The Coronado Mall, Kit Carson. There's a park down here in the valley called Kit Carson Park. We name all these people. What they are is they're mass murderers.
Right.
These are mass murderers that we celebrate.
Yes.
Right? The Dukes. You know the Dukes out here? They used to be the Albuquerque Dukes. They're the Isotopes now. Those are murderers in the cities. When you look up ghetto in the dictionary, it's going to say a quarter of a city where the Jews dwell. Right? That's when you look around it, you're looking at the true Jews. You're looking at the real Israelites. When you go into the barrios, the slums, the favelas, the reservations, those are the true Jews. Those are the Israelites. When the Bible talks about the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Israelites, the Ishmaelites, right? All those people in biblical times, they are here today. Those are races and nationalities of people, you understand? So who are they today? Who are you today? That's one thing that our people never consider, right? Give me Job 8 and 8. Our people don't go back and consider these things, all right? So now, we're gonna read this. Check this out.
The book of Job, chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, for all the former age, and prepare thyself to search out of their fathers.
You hear that? The Bible just said that we must inquire of our forefathers. We must go back because we've forgotten, right? So a lot of people now are doing like DNA tests right now to say, okay, what's my background? What am I mixed with and all these type of things, right? But our people don't go to the Bible and inquire who we are as a people, right? Because God requires something about his people. That's one thing our people don't know. So now, we're going to show you. We're going to start off with, give me the book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 27.
Bring it
because
out!
If you are of Mexican descent, of Hispanic descent, all right, if you look on this sign, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel make up one race of people. It's one nationality of people, all right? And our people have forgotten who we are. So the blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics are the Israelites according to the Bible.
That's
and
right.
God only deals with the Israelites in the Bible.
That's right.
All the other gods of all the other nations are idols, what the Bible says. Watch this.
The book of Joel, chapter 2 and verse 27. And you shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
God says you will know that I am in the midst of Israel. Go ahead.
And that I am the Lord your God.
Lord, everybody's God.
The Lord your God.
But what about John 3:16?
Your God.
God says he's the Lord your God. Read on.
Right.
And none else.
And none else.
Bring it out.
Wait a minute. What about everybody? What about the whole world? What about all the other nations? God says none else. So are we going to believe the Bible? Are we going to believe what man says? We just read that out the Bible. He said, and none else.
Right.
Right? Now read Amos chapter 3 and verse 2 real
Bring
quick.
it out.
Now then we're going to show you that who the Hispanics are in the Bible.
Right?
Read that.
The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So God says out of all the families is another name for nationalities
Right.
or race. Out of all the nations, out of all the races, he said, you only have I known. Read.
Therefore, I will punish you.
God said he'll do what?
I will punish you.
So right now, God's people are in punishment. Just like you would punish your kids. Now, if you told your kids to be home by a certain time, right, and they didn't do that, would you punish the whole neighborhood or would you punish just your kids? You punish your kids, right? That's the same thing. God says, I will punish you.
That's right.
Right? He will punish us, the Israelites. And you look around, our people are in punishment right now. It's not that all these other races are better than us, right? God said he's going to punish his people because we broke his commandments. You understand that? Right? He sent the other nations against us. The basis of nations against us. Right? Because we broke his commandments. We're going to show you that. Right? Was that it on that?
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. So God said his people are in punishment. He only knows one people. When you read the commandments of the Bible, he gives the Israelites a commandment, a law, and there's other laws on how we're supposed to deal with other nations. Like for instance, in Deuteronomy 14, we're not supposed to eat anything that dies of itself.
Right.
If a deer died of itself right here, dropped dead right now, we couldn't eat it.
Right.
God said, you holy. But he said, give it to the other nations. They can eat it.
Right.
There's no repercussions of them eating it. But our people, when we break God's commandments, we get high blood pressure.
Right.
We get diabetes,
Gout.
cancers, gout.
Right.
These are all judgments of the Lord.
Right.
You understand that?
Yes.
We are in punishment. God said, I will punish you for all your iniquity. All the other nations, they can eat bat brains, they eat shrimp, crab, lobster, all the things that God said not to do, they could eat it. But our people, we ain't supposed to be eating that stuff. God said we holy people.
Yes,
right?
right.
Now we're going to show you. Who are the blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics according to the Bible? We're going to show you.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
So God says, if you're not going to listen, hearken means to listen. He said, if you're not going to listen and do all my commandments, not just the 10 commandments, right? Not just the 2 greatest commandments, because all those things there's sub statutes and laws that fall within those things.
Right.
You understand? So God says all his commandments, right? For example, Christ said on these 2 great commandments, right? Do you know the 2 great commandments? Huh? The 2 greatest commandments is love God with all thy heart, with all your soul and all thy spirit. And the second one is love thy neighbor as thyself, right? So Christ said on these 2 hang all the commandments and the prophets, right? But within that, like I mentioned, there's sub-laws and statutes that fall into those things.
Right.
For instance, like to love your neighbor as yourself, you're not supposed to rape your women. You're not, you know what I mean? You're supposed to rape because it's considered murder according to the Bible, right? That falls under loving your neighbor as yourself, right? God says a man should not cut his beard off, should not shave off his beard.
Right.
What does that fall into? Loving God with all your heart, with all thy soul, and all thy spirit.
Right.
Why? Because he told you to do something, you're supposed to do it.
Right.
You understand that? Obedience. Meekness, right? So God said if we don't listen and we don't do all his commandments, go ahead.
And all his statutes, which I commanded this day, that all these curses,
All the what?
all these curses,
Blessings.
curses
So all these curses, go ahead.
shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
You hear that? So if we break God's commandments, like I mentioned to you, I mentioned 2 things to you, right? Rape. That's huge right now in this community, right? Right now in the war zone, right? Someone's always getting raped.
Right.
There's women that walk through here. They tell us, I got raped, right? There's women going missing.
Right.
Human trafficking is against the Bible.
Right.
But guess what? We do it all the time. Our people do it all the time, and guess who they do it to? Their own people.
Right.
Brown on brown crime, black on black crime.
Right.
You understand that? So God says because we broke his commandments, what's going to happen? We just read it. Is it going to be good things? What did God call it? What did God call it? But what's the word he used? That's why, watch this. That's why we got to pay attention, right? Because this ain't church. We out here to teach you something.
Right.
Hopefully you can walk away today knowing something that you didn't know before. All right? Something that you can apply today. Right? Because we want to provide solutions. Not just that you walk around here with some knowledge, knowing who you are in the Bible, but there's some application that needs to happen. You understand? Read that last part again.
That all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So God says all these what? Curses, curses, curses. Now curses, is that a good thing? Is that a blessing? But other people say all the time, I'm blessed. But God says all these curses were going to come upon us. You hear that? God says all these curses were going to come upon our people. Read on.
curse shall thou be in the city, and curse shall thou be in the field.
So our people, now he's starting to go into how our people are cursed. God says our people are going to be cursed in the cities. When you look up ghetto in the dictionary, it's going to say a quarter of a city where the Jews dwell. Right? That's when you look around it, you're looking at the true Jews. You're looking at the real Israelites. When you go into the barrios, the slums, the favelas, the reservations, those are the true Jews. Those are the Israelites.
Right.
God says they're going to be cursed in the city. Because guess what? Not everywhere in this city looks like here in the war zone. Some of these places, they're going to go to a nice home. They're blessed. They're going to go to Tanawan. They're going to go to their infinity pool. Right? They're going to go to their nannies and stuff like that. But God said God's people are going to be cursed in the city. We're going to be the ones at the bottom of the city. You understand that? That's what we out here to show. We are God's people trying to wake you up. God said there's curses. Oh, look around. All people are cursed. We are a cursed people. You understand that? Mental illness. A lot of our people walk around here talking to themselves, seeing things, hearing things. That's a curse. Verse 28.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
You hear that? The Lord's going to smite thee with madness. That's a curse. We are insane.
There you go.
We have one of the highest rates of mental illness, anxiety, right? What's the other one? What's the other mental illnesses? Schizophrenia, bipolar. All these things plague our people.
Right.
You understand? Because why? What did the Bible say? Because we broke his commandments and there's curses upon our people. He said he's going to smite us with madness
and blindness and astonishment of heart.
So God said he's going to smite us with blindness. We're going to walk around. We're going to try to find our way around in this society, in this world. Do you understand that? We're going to try to look for God in different religions, right? Our people are always moving on to the next best thing, right? Our people. Kwanzaa is a very new celebration. Now our people are Pan-Africanists. Now our people are Buddhists and yogis and all this type of stuff. Where did that come from? We're always looking for the newest thing, the Moorish societies and all that. We always want to be in some new stuff, right? But God said he has smitten us. Right? He's smitten with a blindness, right? And we're going to be searching for God in all these places. That's where our people, we fill up the churches. We want to know where God is, right? So now, we're going to show you some of the other curses that we know that these are the Israelites. We just showed you 2 curses, right? That should get the wheels turning, right? Give me verse 49.
Verse 49, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So God said one of the curses is that he's going to bring a nation from far. You hear that? Where did the conquistadors come from? Where did the Spanish conquistadors come from? Huh? Where? Where's Spain at? Because Spanish people came from Spain, right? You look right here. Right? They came from Europe.
Right.
So Spain is around this area right here. Right? This is Spain. This is where the true Spanish come from. A lot of our people call themselves Spaniards today, not knowing what they're saying. Right? The Spaniards are Caucasians. Right? Just like French Caucasians, Yugoslavian Caucasians, right? They're Russian Caucasians, English Caucasians, Dutch Caucasians. They're all one race of people. And our people call themselves ignorantly Caucasians. I'm Spanish, right? Because why? A lot of our people are ashamed to be Mexican. You'd rather be white. You'd rather call yourself a Spanish Caucasian than to be called a Mexican because you hate what the self-image of what that shows. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a wetback. I ain't no Mexican, right? I'm a Spaniard. My people come from Spain. Oh no, they didn't. A lot of the people here, right? The people came from. They have indigenous descent, strong warrior blood. Aztec, Incan Empire. These were warriors, right? The only reason they got taken down was why? Because we broke God's commandments and the curses came upon our people. Read that again.
the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So it was the Lord that brought the Spanish against us from far. They came all the way from Spain, read.
From the end of the earth.
From the other end of the earth, from Europe.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
As swift as the eagle flieth. What is the Caucasian symbol? What is the Spanish symbol? The eagle.
Right.
What is the United States symbol? The eagle. The Romans, the Greeks, all their symbols were the eagle. You understand that? God is telling you who he sent against you to conquer you. You see that? The Greek coin, the Roman coin, the Spanish coin, right? All the way to America, their symbol have always been the eagle. You understand that? That's the nation that God sent against his people for breaking the commandments. So the people that he sent against his people are now God's people. He used those people to punish us. You understand that? Read that.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
Right? So as swift as the eagle flieth. Read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
So our people, we did not understand Spanish. Right? When the conquistadors came here, our people did not have Spanish last names.
Right.
They weren't worshiping the Virgin Mary.
Right.
They weren't worshiping the white image, the false image of Jesus Christ. Right? We didn't speak Spanish. None of these things. These were all imposed on us when they conquered us. You understand that? Read.
A nation of fierce countenance.
Why were there fierce countenance? Because they killed you.
Right.
They had no mercy. Right? They you know what they did? They took the babies out of pregnant women and they smashed them against the walls. They fed them to their dogs. This is history. All you got to do is look it up, and guess what? We celebrate them. You see right here. You see the picture? He got a little infant baby in his hands, about to smash it against the stone right there.
Right.
And we celebrate them by what? Naming a mall after Coronado. Right? The Coronado Mall, Kit Carson. There's a park down here in the valley called Kit Carson Park. We name all these people. What they are is they're mass murderers.
Right.
These are mass murderers that we celebrate. Right? The Dukes. You know the Dukes out here? They used to be the Albuquerque Dukes. They're the Isotopes now. Those are murderers.
Right.
They had genocide upon the Native Americans. And yet our people, we wear the Dukes hats proudly, right? We get tattooed with the Dukes, Coronado, all this type of stuff. We put Spanish last names on our backs when they were our slave masters. We got to wake up. But God said this was going to happen. God said this was going to happen. Why? Because we broke his commandments. Read on.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young.
So they didn't care how old or young you were, right? They killed you, right? The Caucasians don't care. They're a violent people.
Right.
They're violent. That's what they want to grow up here, join the Marines and Navy and all that type of stuff, because they want to go out there and kill somebody. Who's the mass murderers? Right? So when you go to history, the Native Americans, millions of Native Americans were killed by Spanish Caucasians, by English Caucasians.
Right.
These are the bloodline they come from.
Right.
We cannot be proud and say, oh, I come from the Spanish race. Those are murderers.
Right.
They murdered God's people. You understand that? They raped many of our sisters, our grandmothers. You understand that? So check this out. Hey, we're about to almost done. Check this out before you go. Read that.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle.
So he's going to take the fruit of your cattle, right? He's going to take all your resources away, right? That's why our people don't have nothing now. When all the pilgrims, the Americans, all the immigrants, they stole this land and all the resources. You understand that? And now they say, now after they've stolen everything, and they have all the resources, they say, oh, now you got to pick yourself up with the bootstraps.
Right.
Now they say, oh, all you got to do is work hard.
Right.
And then you can be like me.
Right.
You understand that? After they stole, raped, and murdered for what they got. Now they want to tell you, you got to work hard. You understand that? That's the Bible. Those are the Israelites according to the Bible. Right? So now, my man, I know you got to go. So on that flyer, Matthew 26. On that flyer, we got our social media. Look us up. If you want to learn who you are in the Bible, because God requires something of you. Oh, last scripture before you go, real quick, Deuteronomy 10 and 12, because we have to show you, not only is it good to know who you are in the Bible, that you are an Israelite, right? If your father's stock comes from this lineage here, right, and not from the murderous, raping lineage of the Spaniards, right? God says you are an Israelite. You understand that? Watch this. He requires something of the Israelites. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee?
So God is asking, what is required of you, Israelite man? Read on.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways.
So you must fear the Lord your God and walk in all his ways. Right? Read on.
And to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord.
You hear that? We must keep the commandments. And the only way you're going to come learn the commandments if you come around brothers like us. We're going to show you God's commandments. Because guess what? The churches ain't going to teach you God's commandments. Our leaders are not going to show you God's commandments. They want to keep you in sin. They want to keep you a consumer. As long as you're buying, they're happy. But as soon as you start having a mind for yourself, as long as you have a spirit of that you want to stand up as a man, that's what they hate. Right? So you got to come learn the commandments of God. You understand that? You got to have a revolutionary mind. You got to stand up for yourself, your family, and your race.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom. What is the nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word